Brother Tariq.
What's up, man?
Oh man, pleasure talking to you, man. Long time supporter ever since the Mackin days, man,
Yes,
from the
sir.
Conan O'Brien show, man. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate that, man. What's on your mind, brother?
Well, one thing I'm a little bit skeptical about is our people are thinking this is a win when I don't know. I'm from South Central LA. I was
Yeah.
born out there where the Watts riots kicked off. LA riots, like putting a foot in a saltain's ass is a normal occasion to us. You get what I'm
Oh yeah.
saying?
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of confused, like how blacks are considered this like a new our Boston Tea Party type of movement. You get what I'm saying? Like let's get the Freedman Bank back. That's
No,
that's that's the type of shit I'm on.
yeah, yeah. But I understand where the energy is coming from because see, we got to get some shit started. We got to put that first step in, and it's been so hard for us to get on the right page. Every time we get some kind of movement going, it immediately gets fractured. When we like with the reparations thing, we're talking about
Yeah.
reparations, and all of a sudden,
And I was there in Oakland. I was there
yeah,
in Oakland when you was out there.
yeah. Did you see all them damn agents up
All
in
that,
there?
all
Right.
that.
Yeah. So yeah, all of these off-code agents infiltrating every damn thing. So we're so used to seeing that. So when we see a situation like we saw in Montgomery, where all the black people got on code, no matter what age, no matter what gender, um, everybody was on the same page, putting in work on site. They didn't have to have a big old meeting. We just knew what the assignment was supposed to be. And also in that area was very significant because that was a former slave port. So
Yeah,
just
Montgomery.
exactly. Also, that was a major civil rights area too, right around the corner from that riverfront area. The Rosa Parks Museum is out there, from what I understand. So that area has so much significance for Black folks. So to see the history of what we dealt with in that area, to see the vengeance and the justice be produced like that, that was very significant because they love to do marches in Selma and Montgomery to try to show a passive narrative, as if we were all on this nonviolent thing, and if you beat me, I was gonna forgive you. So what we saw was the real energy of the brothers and sisters down there, the real energy of the ancestors. Hey, we're gonna get some vengeance and produce some justice. So that was a great thing, and that was a great way to show codification. So we
And
want to see.
that's the reason I need to travel to the South, because I see the demographics out there. Like I look at Montgomery and Selma and stuff. It's 80+% black. Like you should
Yes,
keep
indeed.
a foot in a cracker's ass at all times.
Yes, indeed.
It's all black politicians, all black sheriff department, all black district attorneys, all that.
Yes, indeed.
So why do they have a fearful mindset of white folks compared to like brothers and sisters in California? Because like I said, out here we don't play.
Yeah, and they're not really that fearful down there either. By the way, I lived in
Yeah.
Alabama. They get busy. They are not afraid whatsoever. They will
But
get busy.
but like how you posted that Democratic politician, master explaining to the white boys.
Now,
The
which
one you reposted from one of the city council dudes from Alabama on some we should all heal type shit.
which one? Which one?
You reposted one of his things that he said. Like about 6 or 7 hours ago.
It was a black dude,
Yeah, he was niggas explaining. He was an Alabama city council person.
and I don't remember posting that, bro.
Okay, yeah. You said this is one of the Democratic shills that like I'm saying always using their you know what I'm saying, their political agenda
Okay,
against
yeah,
us.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
I don't
yeah,
get that.
okay, yeah. This is just, yeah,
He
yeah.
should have had his foot on their asses.
Oh yeah, yeah. So you do have a couple of coon politicians here and there,
Yeah.
but they're backed up by the little white money that's around Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing. So it is what it is. So the brothers are handling business and the sisters are handling business. So we want to keep that same energy. But thank you so much, brother. Let me get Sir Major in here. Let me get Sir Major. What's up, Sir Major? Hop on, brother. Show light. All right. What's up, Sir Major? Let your microphone turn on.
What's
All
up,
right.
my brother? What's happening?
What's good, Sir Major? How you doing, fam? Oh, where you at, bro? Sir. Turn your microphone on, brother.
Okay, there we go. As I said, I
There you
got to give you, first of all, man, shout outs to you. Salute to the work that you do day in and day out, man. I just came up here not really to harp on any position, but I got to give you, you got to give credit where credit's due. Without you and Sister Wani, and I'll go to the extent of even saying Connie, without y'all arming brothers like me and the rest of us with the knowledge to be able to advocate for the family, to be able to have these talking points to push back, to be able to really do the work that we do on the level that we do it. I gotta tip my hat to you, Wani, and Connie, because I'll be honest, I wouldn't be shit without y'all teaching us how to fight white supremacy and anti-blackness on a level that we do it. Um, so I'll give you the props there. I do want to
Yes, sir.
lightly touch on what's been happening, man. You have been doing your thing, and we've been
Yes.
following suit. Thank you so much for the leadership here, not leadership, but for your advocacy. Um,
Yeah.
the young brother, I'll say this now. I'll mute up. The young brother who jumped into that body of water, 16 years old, was remarkable. I shed tears
Yeah.
watching these videos, brother. And I was just so inspired. And, bro, I gave up. I'll say I gave up a little bit a few years ago when I first caught this case. And I've somehow been a little bit beaten into submission with fighting white supremacy. And when I saw those videos, the series of videos on yesterday, that reignite my fight and my drive for what we do for the people.
Yeah.
And I call the elder brother, Riverfront Granddad. That brother there
Yeah.
was that brother had the spirit of the ancestors.
Yes,
He
he
was trying to
did.
get it back in blood, you know.
Yeah.
So if you
Yes, sir.
remember
Yeah.
the game that they would have at the state fairs where you hit the ducks with the little hammer, that's
Yeah.
that's the image I
Yeah.
had of that brother, man. And I just
Yes, and he was. Yeah.
yes, sir. So I want to thank you so much, man.
I mean, thank you so much, brother.
My
Yeah. Yeah, the old school brother, man. Shit. That brother with that chair. Boy, do y'all understand the brother with the chair? That's the one who's really going viral. Brother, the look on his face and the way he was swinging that chair. Do you know how much pent up energy that brother had? Do you know how long he was waiting to unleash some chair action on a white supremacist? You can tell that's been sitting on his spirit for about 30, 40 years. That was sitting on his spirit. That brother had to get that off his chest the way he was swinging that. It was personal. That brother said no more. That brother right there, that's the funny thing about it because he ended it off. The youngins and the women started it, and they let Pop and all of them. The old school brothers took that shit they took it home, man. Oh, and they had the grand finale with the beatings. Man, yeah, like I said, y'all better not underestimate no old black man in Alabama, dude. Shit. And my dad is from Alabama. All my uncles, my mom. Dude, I know firsthand you don't run up on no old black man in Alabama. That's the last person on earth you run up on. I don't know what them white supremacists were thinking. Again, they're sitting up listening to that old try this in a small town song, getting drunk and letting that song pump you up. That's the new Eye of the Tiger. See, back in the 80s, they let them Rocky songs get them pumped up. They start listening to Eye of the Tiger. We make jokes about that now. Then think y'all gonna run up on somebody. Eddie Murphy made a joke about that. How the Italian dudes be looking at Rocky movies and then try to run up on brothers. Man, don't let these songs get y'all punched on. It's real out here. Y'all think it's gonna be an easy win rolling up on some old black man somewhere. And that nigga got all types of calcium built up in his damn joints. And you don't know what that punch is gonna feel like. You're not gonna even understand what hit you. Let's get some more people in here. We got a lot of folks in here. Lots of people in here. Well, y'all learn the hard way. Run up on one of them old ass black men in Alabama and see what happened. You lucky that old dude just had that chair. You lucky when them old niggas didn't pull a blade out on your ass. They're gonna learn the hard way. Let's get Panzer Express. Panzer Express.
Hey, good evening there.
How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good. I'm having a good evening. I
Oh,
made some steaks with my pals, and I'm enjoying your broadcast. I usually
yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. So, what do you think about the situation down in Montgomery?
I only caught the tail end of it. I wasn't on the internet all day, and I saw some clips of some dudes brawling. I don't really know the context.
Yeah.
Well, can you fill me in?
Yeah. Basically, it was some it was down in Alabama, Montgomery. There was a riverboat area where they were trying to park a ferry with a lot of people, and there were some white guys who had their own private boat in the way, and a black security guard tried to tell them to move, and then they jumped the black security guard, and then a bunch of other citizens came through and kind of washed up the white supremacist suspects, and it's gone viral. So that's pretty much the long and short of it.
All right, thanks for that. Yeah, I believe all that. You dealing with anyone near boats is never pleasant usually. These people,
Yeah.
they don't behave. So you kind of got near it a couple of callers ago, and I was wondering if I could pick your brain.
Yeah.
When we see these weird things, the celebrities are made to do Ice Cube or whoever the other guy was that they're Jamie Foxx. Sorry, it's late. Jamie Foxx apologizing for mentioning the financiers. What's your take on all of that? Because um, I think that kind of goes without saying a lot of the time, and uh, Michael Jackson tried warning us too. You always hear that line from him, and people take it out of context after the fact. But they um, Jew me, you will never do me. I can't sing, but um, these people kind of, they seem to be pulling a lot of the strings, and uh, they it seems like tensions are can be artificially manipulated a lot in the media. They can always kind of, I don't deny a lot of tragedies happen, and people are acting wild. It's inexcusable, but um,
Right.
it seems like they can push the scale. They can put their thumb on the scale in certain directions to rile people up, or to kind of create these scenarios where we're just waiting for a spark to set up the flames. And I was wondering if I could pick your brain on that a little bit. I guess I want to know your opinion on that in those regards.
But the thing is, well, first when you said Jamie Foxx mentioned the financiers, no, he actually didn't. He said something about fake friends. It had nothing to do with anybody's religion. He it wasn't nothing like that. And also, I don't really get into the religious aspect of people who have segments of anti-black racism, because anti-black racism is the same all across the board. We're trying when people try to come to us and create some type of religious or ethnic differentiation between those within white society, which are non sequiturs to us. That's a very deceptive tactic. So when we're being pummeled with anti-black racism and we're looking at the people to stop doing it, everybody wants to play three-card Monty with each other. Well, he, he's the Republicans, the Trumpers, the MAGA. They're the real racists. No. It's the Democrats. They're racist too. No, it's those the Hebrew guys over there. They're the ones who are really racist. It's the no. It's those white Hispanics. So everybody's kind of pointing the finger at each other when you're all practicing anti-black racism. So I don't want none of you practicing it. You can argue among yourselves. I don't give a damn about what differences you have. All of you need to stop practicing anti black racism. And until you stop that, you're all in the same boat to me. You feel me?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I understand, uh, the the logical kind of journey you're taking. I'm on board with that. Is it possible? Are you in the camp where there's no anti-white racism, there's no anti whatever else racism? It's mainly directed towards black.
Name the systematic anti-white racism. That's systematic and not just name calling. Because white racism against a white person means somebody called a white person a name. There's no systematic anti-white racism. There's systematic anti-black racism, meaning black people are denied systematically education. We are denied economics. We are denied proper medical care in the medical industry. We're denied the proper um, um, religious um, seasoning that we need. We're denied housing systematically. We're systematically funneled into prison systems. There is no comparative opposite that happens to white people. The worst is a black person calls you a cracker. There is no systematic white racism or anti white racism. Or I might be mistaken. Do you know of any, sir?
No, I mean, like, I guess when we talk about systemic, right, it gets a little broad because when we're talking about lending, we're dealing with banks and credit scores, and
Uh huh.
so is that part of the system? Is a bank a private bank with a credit scoring system?
Banks are not just buildings that are mindless entities. Banks are run by people, and the people within those banks would do things called redlining. And they would go and redline black areas and say these people cannot get the same types of home loans. And when it came to lending, especially after World War II, you had white people getting all types of federal funding, those GI bills, and all of those things. And that created the white middle class. They were able to go to the suburbs and live great lives and pass the wealth down generationally. Black people were not allowed to get those same comparative loans because of race. So these banks are not these mindless entities. They're run by suspected white supremacists who practice anti black racism, sir. So that's what we mean by systematic racism, right?
Yeah, I got that. Well, okay, so here's the thing. I'm trying to tread lightly. I don't want to, be rude. I'm trying to be a
No,
respectful
man.
guy.
No. We're big boys and girls here. Speak your mind, brother. Just say what's on your spirit.
All right. Well, okay. So from what I understand, if you let's say and criticize me here, but if you Google like credit score by race, you'll notice that it kind of falls into that familiar lineup where black people have lower credit scores than Hispanic, than white, than Asian seems to be at the top. So if credit scores are like a function of decision making, personal life, we all start with zero, essentially. And then that's kind of like how we go about getting our loans. I know nobody taught me when I was a kid. I fucked up my credit when I was 18, and I just got it back together. Now I'm 34, and now it was a nightmare, but it took a lot of shit to deal with.
Well, sir,
How do you weigh
let's
that?
let's just weigh that. Now, if a black person's credit score is low, look at what black people have to go through. Your credit score is low based on deprivation. So if a black person who cannot get a job like a white person, they cannot get the same level of employment, you might have to take some kind of mediocre job that pays less. Then your bills are going to pile up, and then you're going to become more in debt. Then you're going to have to start taking out loans. And then in black communities, they put all of these predatory payday loans, car loan places in our communities that have these enormous percentage rates that's hard to pay back. And if we miss a payment because of more economic deprivation, that hits us on the credit score. So, yeah, our scores are lower because we're targeted more economically in our communities. When we, again, try to get certain levels of employment, we're just denied it. And when we try to start our businesses, we're sabotaged. And then that further messes up credit scores and credit reports and all of that too. So nobody's targeted economically like we are. And that economic targeting trickles down to our credit score. It's not an equal thing. Go ahead.
All right, I'm tracking. I'm tracking.
Mhm.
Do you think in general, if say you or you wanted to start a business and advertise, I only hire black people? Is that something, if you had a magic wand to make laws in the United States, is that something you'd want to be able to do? Right now it's illegal. If I wanted to start a business that says I don't hire women, I don't hire Chinese people, whatever it is, I go to jail if I try starting that business and I try to seriously enforce that hiring practice. Do you think in general that is if you were the president, king of the United States, is that the policy you would have, or would you give people the freedom to kind of, I guess, discriminate?
No. Well, is it discrimination when Native Americans get monthly checks in casinos? Because where I am now, I'm in the middle of California right now. There's Indian casinos all around me right now. I've seen a whole bunch of them that's making big money right now. Is that a form of discrimination?
I guess I would say yeah, probably.
Then why are people not doing anything about it? Why are they fine with that discrimination? Because you don't see nobody protesting out here. You don't see anybody on TV whining and complaining. If it's discrimination, everybody seems to be cool with it if they're discriminating against somebody. But when we try to get our reparations, everybody's loud and proud about their opposition to it. Okay, so why is there so much loud opposition to us getting what these Native Americans are getting right now?
I agree. That's a great point. I've never considered that. You always just kind of think, oh,
Right.
these natives with their casino or whatever they're doing, they don't have to hire anybody else. They're just doing, they're
No,
outside the law.
they
Is it?
out here living it up. Don't let nobody fool y'all, black people. Don't let nobody fool you. Where I am, there's Indian casinos all around here that's making a grip. It's making big money out here. And then when I go to certain other cities and go to some of these Indian reservations, they got their own hospitals, they have their own police agencies, they got their own schools just for them. They get all types of things just for their ethnic group. Even when they had the reparations program for the Japanese who were put in those camps and their descendants. Nobody complained about that. So when we are trying to be repaired for our systematic aggrievement, all of a sudden everybody wants to cry foul and say it's discrimination. No, we want the same compensatory justice as all of these other aggrieved groups because no other group has been more aggrieved than foundational Black Americans. Isn't that correct, sir?
Yeah, I agree that there needs to be some repairs made here, reparations.
Mm-hmm.
But I think kind of I have like a bigger picture kind of
What's the
solution.
bigger picture? What's the bigger
I,
solution?
I don't
Go
want to
ahead.
tell. I don't want to hog your mic. You know what I mean? If I
No,
could
no,
get
no, no,
into,
no, no, no. What would be the solution?
well, so I'm thinking more of well, first of all, right? We give all this ridiculous amounts of money to these countries that just stay at war. We pay Egypt not to attack Israel. Basically, we pay Israel to do nothing. They don't even have to prove what we give all their money we give them to each year, what they do with it. We give it in forms of loans, and we forgive the loans to avoid the checks and balances that are required under aid acts. So the whole, we could be all driving around spaceship cars. You know what I mean? If this thing was being run a little bit more reasonably. The only thing we actually build these days is missiles to kill brown people with. Um, there's no, we don't have any good manufacturing. You know what I mean? We don't have uh, a warehouse full of black and white guys building Mustangs or anything like that. They're all built in Mexico. So I mean, I think if you retool uh, what we're actually working with a little bit, we wouldn't have to be cutting checks necessarily. I mean, I'm not necessarily even against cutting checks because you're right about the Indians. Although I think the kind of legal distinction is they have their own nation, quote unquote. So like the Iroquois or whatever are living in Iroquois country, so it's technically different rules. Whatever, that would be I think it's bullshit, but that's at least what we're being fed as.
Yeah, that's one of the excuses. But hell, they give money to LGBT organizations specifically because of their sexual orientation.
Well,
That's not its own country, so they give all types of money to them and resources to them, so they can give money to whatever aggrieved group they choose to. But there's always these different weird hurdles for foundational Black Americans, and we're saying no more. But go ahead, let me know about your plan. So you say it's not money. We shouldn't get money.
Oh no,
Other than
you can get money, but okay. So for instance, like Libya before before Clinton or whoever knocked that guy off, um, these citizens were getting paid to have kids. Um, Mortgages were forgiven the more children you had. So I mean, like it's basically from like a very roots of existence type deal. Um, their money was backed with gold. There was one person could work and support a family with a reasonable amount of time. They had free education, all this stuff. I guess we could keep this old janky system and cut checks to everyone, but you know how it's going to end up. Like the same people with bad credit scores are going to buy Hellcats, and the same shit's going to go on. If you kind of revamp the system, where in some countries you take a test. Hey, if you're a good builder, guess what? You're going to builder school for free. If you want to be a goddamn artist, you got to pay for that shit. So there's again systemic, I guess, ways that we retool a little bit.
Like, how look, you got to be very specific. You're kind of all over the place. You got to be specific.
I'm trying to paint a broad picture.
Okay, you're throwing some other examples from other places, but I'm talking about foundational Black Americans. What are you saying that we should get? You're saying not money. You keep saying not money, but then back it up, and you're backpedaling. Should we get checks?
Should you get checks? Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
sure. Yeah, let's get checks. Yeah, get you guys some checks.
All right.
I don't.
That's it. What's all this other stuff? Let's cut some checks.
Well, I mean, let's cut some checks. Let's do it, baby.
Yeah.
Is that the solution? I guess,
Yes. Yes. And then all of that other stuff we can build on our own. If we want to buy Hellcats, that's cool because that's going to stimulate the economy. When we get our checks, that's actually going to help the economy because that money is going to go back into the American economy. It's not going to go to the Ukraine and all of these other foreign entities that are generally hostile to us to a certain degree. So, yeah, it would be a smart move to help stimulate the economy by giving foundational Black Americans what we're owed. But there's such a psychological opposition to it because it's really a psychological thing. The people in the dominant society know that this will help our economy. But in white supremacist culture, there's this narrative that Black people are supposed to perpetually be deprived of something to make the dominant white supremacist society feel better about themselves. That's a part of the culture, which is a sick part of the culture that needs to be taken out of here. We need to get rid of that white supremacist mindset, and we need to get a justice mindset. We need to start producing justice, replace the system of white supremacy with the system of justice. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, justice. That's what that sounds good. You get some
Yes,
fucking
indeed.
justice. I think it. I think. I think one of the parts of the machine that is especially insidious, though, is the forced kind of integration, where we're in direct competition with each other. And I know, let's laugh about it, but um, if you guys were left to your own devices, right, and nobody was burning down your city or whatever the hell, before Martin Luther King and all that stuff, nobody was getting divorced in the Black community. Nobody was getting aborted, and nobody was broke. Nobody was addicted. So there's a way it works. Um, in people's lifetime, it has worked like that. Maybe that guard, and now I just read an article that security guard. Nothing bothers me more when people don't listen to security guards because they don't get paid enough, and they're in risk. That one security guard that died during the riots, the George Floyd riots, broke my heart. He was like trying to stop a guy stealing a TV in his friend's pawn shop or whatever, and he ended up getting smashed, and he got knocked off. But
Well, what does any of that have anything to do with the price of tea in China? I don't know where all that. These are kind of these far right talking points.
Oh yeah, definitely, for sure. I mean, I'm as far right as it gets, but
right
in a peaceful way. I want everyone to be happy. I don't want anyone. I don't wish ill on anyone, and I'm just pointing out that it's worked kind of before, right? Like, do you deny that at one point blacks weren't aborted? Right now,
Yo, I just have 7 questions whenever I can talk for
I'm
Panzer.
gonna get Karen. Karen, I'm gonna get you, dear. Just let me close him out. I'm gonna get you, dear. But you know what? Let me let the Planker, let me have you stay on. Karen, let me have you. Karen, what's on your mind,
Perfect.
dear?
I have 7 questions for you, Panzer, and I typed it out on my Mac because you just kept on going. All right, number 1 question: who's we? Number 2, why do we need tests for the reparations that we deserve for the slavery that your ancestors put on towards us? Number 3, again, who's we? Number 4, who are the Indians? Because last I checked, they're natives. Last I checked, it's their country. I'm not taking it away from blacks, of course. I'm just saying, don't speak of, like, oh God. Anyway, 4, what's cutting a check? What does cutting a check mean? What do you mean cutting a check? Number 5, what do Hellcats have to do with us when it's made from Dodge, which is a white company? Do you know anything about cars? Because I do. And then number 7, why are you here? I'll wait.
Okay. Is there a black car company I could have named? 1, 2. I didn't bring up Indians. Tariq did, right?
Mhm.
3. I didn't bring up cutting checks either, but that's where the conversation
You're a
went. So
damn
calm
liar.
down.
Is this recorded?
You're lying.
Okay.
I mean, are you going to answer? Is there a black car company I
You
should have named?
literally
Like,
just said, cut a check. We're ready to cut a check when the test, blah, blah, blah. But proceed, Panzer,
no,
proceed.
no, you missed the point. I
No, I
said
was
there's
listening, baby. I
countries.
was listening. I was typing it out. But go on. You answered it. Go on.
Yeah, yeah. I was giving an example in certain countries, right? You take a test and they say,
Okay,
"Hey, great,
well,
you're going to
this is
be."
America,
Let me
just like the
answer.
song. Really good song. You should probably listen to it. So
Yeah.
answer in regards to America because that's what we're talking about, correct? Okay.
No, you don't get to decide what we're talking about.
No, I
Miss.
do because I'm pretty sure it's up in the jumbo where it says Montgomery Brawl updates. So again, answer the questions.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about Montgomery. The conversation went forward. I was
Okay, well,
asking
I'm
some
talking
questions
about
that
the 7
triggered you.
questions I asked you. We're on number 4, or sorry, 5. My bad, babes. What's cutting a
Yeah,
check?
cutting a check, like reparations, right?
No, what's
That
cutting a
was the
check? What does
subject.
cutting a check mean?
Money given.
No. So leave that to us
Yes.
and don't ever use that again. Number 6, what do
No,
Hellcats
I
have to
will.
do with us when it's made from Dodge, which is a white car company? What was that comment made about? What is the correlation between Hellcats and black people? Thank you.
I mean, that was just a kind of a cheeky example of like, yeah, we could give everyone money. We all got money during COVID,
And
right? And did it change?
cheeky is a sorry. Cheeky, where did you get that word from? What is that? What is that
My British mom says it.
Okay, cool. And where are you from? Awesome. So
Um,
number
British
7,
and
why are
German.
you here? Answer that question.
Well, this is a free platform. You can be anywhere you want. I just sauntered in here. I find Tariq's conversations very interesting, so I like to
Okay,
listen.
number 8. I'm just going to add this one. So, don't you think you should probably have some intellect towards the way that you speak in regards to speaking towards a black host and not only, and then also a bunch of black listeners? Don't you think maybe like Google or like Siri could have helped you out before you ran your mouth for about 10 minutes, literally making yourself look stupid as fuck?
Yeah, this is very rude. I think we were having a nice conversation.
Oh, all right, there we go. Okay, all right, there we go. All right, then we're gonna wrap. Let me get some more calls in because I don't want us to just go all around and around. All right, but planned. All right, well, thank you so much for the call, and thank you, Miss Karen. Thank you, everybody. Let me get some more folks in here because we're just kind of talking in circles now. Let's get um, let me see. Let's get some new folks in here. Um, where are we at? Where are we at? And by the way, family, we got an event at the Hidden History Museum this Saturday. We got the comics coming through. We got some great comedians coming up. Before the comics come up, we're going to have a cool rap contest, give away some money to the best person who can come in and spit some hot fire. We're going to have great drinks. It's going to be a nice event this Saturday. Come kick it with me at the Hidden History Museum in Los Angeles. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com. hiddenhistorymuseum.com and join me this Saturday. And my brother Dwan B is going to be co hosting. It's going to be a nice event.